Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. You know how this works. You share your sources, and we dive deep. Today's dive takes us into a text titled, Man Dies and Learns We Have It Completely Backwards.
Hmm.
Unbelievable.
Whoa.
An account of a man who claims to have died,
Okay.
journeyed to the afterlife, and had his entire perspective on life flipped upside down by beings of light. Pretty intriguing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Are you ready to unpack some potentially mind-blowing insights with me?
I'm definitely intrigued this type of narrative. While often found in spiritual or esoteric literature, always raises interesting questions about our perceptions of reality, purpose, and even time itself.
And that's what makes this deep dive so exciting. It's not just a story. It's a potential paradigm shift.
Right.
So, the text dives right in, claiming that we're all living backwards.
Ooh.
What do you make of that?
It's a bold statement, and I'm curious to see how the text supports it. It seems to suggest that our earthly values the pursuit of success, material possessions, external validation are misplaced, the beings of light, from what I gather. Emphasize internal qualities like love, compassion, and presence as the true markers of a meaningful life.
Yeah, that resonates with a lot of spiritual teachings. But I'm curious about the specifics. Does the text give any concrete examples of how this backwards living manifests in our everyday lives? Because let's be real, we all get caught up in the hustle sometime.
The text offers a compelling example. Man, before his experience,
Uh-huh.
was a high-powered CEO, driven by ambition and material success. But after his encounter with the beings of light, his entire definition of success changed. Instead of chasing profits, he dedicated his life to building community gardens and teaching mindfulness to underprivileged youth.
Wow.
He went from valuing financial statements to nurturing actual growth, both in himself and others.
Okay, now that's what I'm talking about. A real tangible shift. It's not just about thinking differently. It's about taking action, aligning your life with these newfound values. This makes me think of those studies on happiness. You know how lasting fulfillment comes from connection and purpose, not just acquiring more stuff.
Exactly. And this ties into another fascinating point the text explores, the concept of time distortion. It seems the afterlife realm operates outside of linear time as we know it. There's no sense of urgency, no past or future, just an expansive present moment.
I can already feel my anxiety lessening. But seriously, I'm curious, how does this altered perception of time connect to this idea of living backwards?
The text argues that our obsession with the future, with deadlines, goals, and constant striving blinds us to the richness of the present moment. We're so busy chasing what's next that we miss the beauty and potential of what's right in front of us.
That's so true. It's like we're always rushing to the next thing, never fully experiencing the journey. And this ties into something I've been reading about, the concept of flow state, where you're completely immersed in the present moment, fully engaged in whatever you're doing. Do you think the text is hinting at a similar state of being?
Absolutely. It suggests that by shedding our earthly preoccupation with linear time, we open ourselves to a deeper, more expansive experience of reality. And that's where the interconnectedness comes in.
Oh, yeah. The interconnected web. That was a big one. What's fascinating here is that it wasn't just a feel-good concept. The text describes this interconnectedness as a tangible, almost physical force. The man could feel the ripple effects of his actions extending outwards, impacting others in ways he never imagined.
The text uses a powerful image to describe this. Imagine a spider web glistening with morning dew. Each droplet reflects the entirety of the web, and even the slightest vibration is felt throughout the entire structure. Our actions, thoughts, and emotions are like those vibrations, creating ripples that extend far beyond our immediate perception.
Wow, it's such a vivid metaphor. It really drives home the point that we're not isolated beings. We're intricately woven into this web of existence, and that our choices, however small they may seem, have consequences.
Exactly, and the text goes even further, suggesting that this interconnectedness has implications for how we define success. Remember, the man's definition of success changed drastically. It became less about individual achievement and more about contributing to the well-being of the whole.
So it's not just about personal gain anymore. It's about recognizing that our success is interwoven with the success of others.
Precisely. It's a shift from a competitive mindset to a collaborative one, from a focus on scarcity to a belief in abundance. The man, after his experience, realized that true success lies in strengthening the web, not just claiming the biggest portion of it.
Okay, now that's a perspective shift. And it makes me think of...
But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, there's another critical element to this backwards living that we need to unpack. It's not just about shifting our priorities and recognizing our interconnectedness. It's also about understanding the power of our intentions. The text highlights a concept they call soul resonance. It suggests that actions fueled by love, compassion, and genuine intention create a positive resonance that ripples through the web, uplifting not only ourselves but everyone connected to us. It's almost like a spiritual form of momentum.
So it's not just about what we do, but why we do it. Our intentions are like the engine driving our actions,
Yeah.
and the fuel is either love or, well, something less harmonious.
Exactly, and the text emphasizes that even seemingly small actions, when infused with genuine love and intention, can have a profound impact. It's like a pebble dropped into a still pond.
Okay, the ripples extend far beyond the point of impact. Okay, that's a powerful image. It reminds me of that quote, "What we do for ourselves dies with us. What we do for others and the world remains and is immortal." But here's a question that often comes up when we delve into these spiritual concepts. What about suffering? Life isn't all sunshine and roses. How does this text address the darker, more challenging aspects of the human experience?
That's a crucial question, and the text doesn't shy away from it. It actually reframes suffering, presenting it not as a punishment, but as an invitation for growth.
An invitation. That's an interesting way to put it. Most of us see suffering as something to avoid.
Right, something to fear. The text suggests that suffering, while undoubtedly painful, can act as a catalyst for profound transformation. It's through our challenges that we often discover our resilience, our capacity for compassion, and our deepest reserves of strength.
Okay, I mean, starting to see how this ties into the whole backwards living thing. Maybe our aversion to discomfort, our constant pursuit of ease and pleasure, prevents us from experiencing the growth that comes from facing those tougher parts of life.
The text presents a powerful analogy. Imagine a lump of coal.
Okay, under immense pressure and heat, it transforms into a diamond. Similarly, it's often through the pressure and heat of our challenges that we refine ourselves, revealing our inner brilliance. Okay, that's a beautiful way to reframe it. But how do we actually navigate those challenges? Do we just grit our teeth and bear it?
The text emphasizes forgiveness as a crucial tool for navigating suffering. And it's not just about forgiving others, it's about forgiving ourselves.
That's something I personally struggle with. Letting go of resentment towards someone who's hurt me feels almost impossible sometimes. And self-forgiveness, that can be even harder. Does the text offer any practical guidance on this?
The text distinguishes between condoning harmful actions and releasing the grip those actions have on us. Forgiveness doesn't mean accepting or excusing wrongdoing. It's about freeing ourselves from the burden of anger, resentment, and guilt. It's about choosing peace over prolonged suffering.
So it's more about shifting our internal state than about condoning the actions of others. It's almost like a form of self-care, recognizing that holding on to those negative emotions is ultimately harmful to ourselves.
Exactly. The text even suggests that forgiveness can be a powerful act of love, not just for others, but for ourselves. It's about recognizing that we are all imperfect beings on a journey of growth, capable of making mistakes and learning from them.
That's a beautiful way to frame it. It reminds me of that Buddhist teaching about compassion, how we all suffer, we all make mistakes, and we all deserve kindness, including ourselves. This really makes me think about how I approach forgiveness, both towards others and towards myself. It's a powerful practice that I need to cultivate more actively.
And this brings us to another profound concept that the text delves into: universal love.
Ah, yes. Universal love. It sounds lovely in theory. But how do we translate that into our everyday lives? It can feel like a pretty abstract concept, especially in a world that often feels divided and chaotic.
The text describes universal love not as a fleeting emotion, but as the fundamental fabric of reality, the energy that connects all things. It's like the air we breathe.
Okay. It's always present, even if we're not consciously aware of it. Okay, so it's like a constant undercurrent, a potential that's always there. But how do we tap into it?
The text suggests that we cultivate universal love by practicing presence, by seeing the divine spark in every being we encounter, and by acting with kindness, compassion, and understanding, even in the face of difficulty.
So it's about shifting our perspective, recognizing that we're all interconnected, and treating everyone, including ourselves, with that same reverence and care that we would offer to something sacred.
Exactly. And the text emphasizes that cultivating this universal love is not about achieving some lofty spiritual ideal. It's about bringing more love into our everyday interactions, into our relationships, into our work, and into our own hearts.
This reminds me of that quote by Ram Dass, "We're all just walking each other home." It's about recognizing that we're all on this journey together, and that love is the most powerful force we can bring to the table. Okay, so we've got forgiveness and universal love. What other gems does this text offer for living a more authentic and meaningful life?
The text emphasizes the importance of living authentically, of aligning our actions with our values, and expressing our unique gifts, and of pursuing our passions with joy and enthusiasm.
So it's about being true to ourselves and embracing our individuality.
Precisely. The text suggests that each of us carries a unique spark, a set of gifts and talents that we are meant to share with the world.
But sometimes it can be hard to know what those gifts are
Right.
or how to express them. Does the text offer any guidance on that?
The text encourages us to listen to our inner voice, to pay attention to what brings us joy, and to explore our passions without fear of judgment or failure. It's about rediscovering that childlike sense of wonder and allowing ourselves to play, to create, and to express ourselves fully.
I love that. It's about reconnecting with that inner child, that part of us that's naturally curious, creative, and full of life. It's so easy to lose touch with that as we get older and bog down with responsibilities.
The text reminds us that our passions are not frivolous distractions. They are the whispers of our soul, guiding us towards our purpose.
So it's not just about finding a job that pays the bills. It's about finding work that lights us up, that allows us to express our unique talents and contribute to the world in a meaningful way.
Exactly. And the text suggests that when we align our actions with our purpose, we tap into a wellspring of energy and enthusiasm that makes even the most challenging work feel joyful. We move from a sense of obligation to a sense of inspiration.
I can definitely relate to that. When I'm working on something I'm truly passionate about, I lose track of time, I feel energized, and I'm completely immersed in the moment. It's like that flow state we talked about earlier.
And that brings us to the final, and perhaps most profound, concept that the text explores: mindful presence.
Oh, yes. The power of now. We touched on this earlier, but I'm eager to dive deeper. What specific insights does the text offer about cultivating mindful presence?
The text suggests that mindful presence is not just a technique or a practice, but a way of being. It's about cultivating a deep awareness of the present moment, of our thoughts, our emotions, our sensations, and the world around us, without judgment or resistance.
It sounds so simple, yet it can be so challenging, especially in our fast-paced, hyper-connected world.
The text acknowledges the challenge, but emphasizes that even small moments of presence, a few conscious breaths, a mindful walk in nature, a moment of focused attention on a simple task, can have a profound impact on our well-being.
It's like hitting the pause button on the constant mental chatter and allowing ourselves to simply be, to observe, to feel, to experience the fullness of this moment without getting swept away by the past or the future.
Exactly. And the text suggests that through this practice of mindful presence, we begin to experience the interconnectedness of all things, the beauty and sacredness of everyday life.
It's like shifting from a narrow, egocentric perspective to a wider, more expansive awareness. We start to see the interconnectedness, the web of life, pulsing all around us.
And the text highlights one final, mind-blowing point. By cultivating mindful presence, we not only experience this deeper reality, we also begin to access the wisdom and guidance of our eternal soul.
The eternal soul.
Yeah.
That's a concept that has fascinated and perplexed humans for centuries. It's like we have this intuitive sense that there's more to us than just this physical body, that something transcends the boundaries of time and space.
The text calls it our soul signature. It's the essence of who we are, the unique blend of experiences, wisdom, and love that we carry within. And it's not bound by the limitations of our physical form.
So it's like a drop of water returning to the ocean, merging back into that vast, interconnected source of all being.
The text uses a beautiful metaphor to describe this. Imagine a tapestry woven with threads of light. Each thread represents a lifetime.
Okay. A unique expression of the soul's journey. And through each lifetime, the tapestry becomes richer, more intricate, more beautiful. Wow, that's a powerful image. It suggests that our lives, even with their challenges and imperfections, contribute to something much grander, something that extends beyond our individual understanding.
Exactly. And the text goes on to explain that by connecting with our soul signature, by aligning ourselves with the truth of who we are, we tap into a source of infinite wisdom and guidance. It's like having an internal compass that always points us towards our highest potential.
That's so inspiring. It suggests that we all have this innate capacity for wisdom, for guidance, for love that's always available to us if only we knew how to access it.
The text suggests that mindful presence is the key. By quieting the mind, by observing our thoughts and emotions without judgment, we create space for that soul wisdom to emerge. It's like tuning into a radio frequency. When we clear the static, the signal becomes crystal clear.
Okay, so mindful presence is not just about stress reduction or being more focused. It's about connecting with our deepest selves, with that eternal essence that resides within. That's pretty mind-blowing.
It challenges the conventional understanding of who we are and what's possible. It suggests that we're not just limited beings bound by time and space. We're infinite souls on a journey of growth and evolution. And that journey, according to the text, doesn't end with physical death. It simply transitions to another realm, another expression of being.
So death is not an ending, but a transformation.
The text describes it as a shedding of the physical form, a liberation of the soul from its earthly constraints. It's like a butterfly emerging from its chrysalis, spreading its wings, and soaring into a new dimension of existence.
Wow, that's a beautiful way to think about it. It certainly challenges the fear and anxiety that many of us associate with death. And it makes me wonder, if this perspective is true, how does it change our view of life?
It invites us to live with more purpose, more intention, and more love, knowing that our souls are eternal, that this earthly life is just one chapter in a much grander story, empowers us to make choices that align with our highest values.
So it's not about escaping this world, but about embracing it fully, knowing that our actions have ripple effects that extend far beyond our immediate perception, both in this life and beyond.
Exactly. And the text emphasizes that the most important thing we can do in this lifetime is to cultivate love, compassion, and connection, to live in alignment with our soul signature, to express our unique gifts, and to contribute to the well-being of the whole. That's the legacy we carry with us, the imprint we leave on the tapestry of existence.
Okay, we've covered so much ground today. Backwards living, time distortion, interconnectedness, forgiveness, universal love, authenticity, purpose, mindful presence, and the eternal soul. It's like we've been given a whole new roadmap for navigating life.
It's certainly a profound and thought-provoking exploration. And I think the most valuable takeaway is this. We have a choice in how we live, how we perceive the world, and how we connect with ourselves and others. We can choose to live backwards, chasing external validation and material possessions. Or we can choose to align ourselves with the truth of our eternal souls, embracing love, compassion, and mindful presence as our guiding principles.
So it's not about dogma or rigid beliefs. It's about conscious choice. It's about remembering who we truly are, eternal souls, on a journey of growth and evolution, and living in alignment with that truth.
And the text suggests that when we make that choice, we unlock a level of peace, joy, and fulfillment that transcends the limitations of our earthly experience.
Wow, what a powerful message. So to our listener who shared this incredible text with us, thank you.
Yeah.
You've sparked a deep dive that has expanded our perspectives and challenged us to reconsider how we live, how we love, and how we connect with the world around us. We encourage you to keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep listening to the whispers of your soul.
And to all our listeners out there, what resonated with you most from this deep dive? What insights will you carry with you? We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey. Until next time, keep diving deep.